So this is our second episode about shower thoughts, those profound thoughts that hit you while you're in a place where you can't quite write them down. Well, enjoy. Let me know in the comments if you have any shower thoughts of your own. Watch and or listen while we tackle tough and sometimes taboo topics filmed live over drinks. This platform allows us to articulate our thoughts and challenge our beliefs. This is SipTalk. Grab a drink and enjoy. All right, we are live. Welcome to SipTalk, episode 254, Shower Thoughts Revisited. My name is Justin DiGiulio, joined by James, the Boswell, philosopher, philanderer, philanthropist, philatelist, phlebotomist, and many PHs. How's that phlegm?
Dude, I'm better than I was last week, but I'm still coughing up all sorts of colorful bits. There's no point in going to a doctor because they're just going to tell me what I'm already doing, which is, get your rest, try and do a little bit of exercise, take care of yourself, basic hygiene. They're not going to give me any medicine. They're not going to tell me anything I don't know. So it's just I just have to suffer through this until it passes.
That's my argument about most people going to the doctor. Like, people seem to look at doctors like they just have this magic power. They look at doctors like they're gods. And realistically, like, the most a doctor might be able to do would be prescribe antibiotics sometimes. And it sounds like you may not have something that even needs antibiotics.
No, it's going to work itself out. But yeah,
especially if you're seeing progress already.
Yeah, there's been times where I've sprained my ankle and people are like, "Oh, are you going to go to the doctor or the hospital?" I'm like, "No, I know exactly what happened.
It's not broken."
Yeah, I know. I would know if it was broken. I've injured this thing enough times to know what the difference is. So if I were to go to the doctor, they're not going to prescribe me pain meds. They're going to say, keep off of it. Thanks, doc.
Yeah, that's the extent of how it usually works.
So yeah, I will not go to the doctor unless I cannot for the life of me figure out what is wrong. And the last time that happened was 7 years ago.
Or if the condition, I think if the condition continues to deteriorate and get worse and worse, given the good faith efforts, that if they are really you are actually truly being healthier and staying hydrated and getting rest, et cetera, then if it starts to deteriorate and continues to, then maybe it's time to go to the doctor. But outside of that,
the last time I went to the doctor was for kidney stones, and I didn't know what they were at the time. So it was just this pain that would not go away. I was in so much pain, I threw up in the doctor's office from the pain.
Yikes. All right, so we got a fun episode today about shower thoughts, these profound ideas that hit you most of the time when you've got no time to write it down. But if you remember it well enough and decide to post it to Reddit, we've cherry picked some great shower thoughts from Reddit and from the website Ponly, Ponly. Anything you want to talk about before we get down to brass tacks here?
Just the latest 3-minute summary of all the terrible things that are happening in the government for the last week.
This is your 3-minute liberal news update.
Yeah, I guess.
I'll give you a spotlight. Go ahead, hit it.
The Department of Justice is looking to criminalize diversity, equity, inclusion policies nationwide, and this would not be limited to just government organizations. It would be something that they would be prosecuting private companies for.
The criminalization of it, is that accurate?
Yeah,
I didn't hear about criminalization of it.
Yeah, I'll send you the link to the news.
That seems pretty wild.
Yeah, they're looking to possibly pursue criminal investigations into some of these companies. And whenever somebody says I oppose DEI, I was like, what is it that you don't like? Do you not like diversity? Do you not like equity? Do you not want a workplace that's inclusive? Make them spell it out and say what is it about this that you don't like?
No, I think people just don't like being forced. But I mean, I would like to have that conversation with people.
All right, so the next one, they're looking to eliminate the Department of Education, which would be terrible because it would mean that public schools would lose tons of funding, and it's a way for the government to kind of just push more and more people into religious education.
Well, it's also gonna, it's gonna be very bad for the schools.
Yeah, and then the last one, Trump picks a tariff fight with Mexico and Canada over the weekend and alienates our allies. And like especially with Canada, they canceled a ton of contracts with U.S. businesses. Notably, like all the Canadian liquor stores are refusing to stock American liquor. So like tons of U.S. businesses that deal with Canada a lot are losing their businesses. And he immediately goes back on it by like Monday and claims victory by saying that Mexico and Canada are going to be doing things on the border. But the for the part that the news didn't really cover was like the promises that Canada and Mexico made to avert the tariffs, at least for the next 30 days, were promises they had already made. So it's like they're just like, okay, yeah, we'll do that.
But
But
it
they
is
had already
also for
said they were
30
going to do
days.
that.
We got like a kind of 30-day stay on this stuff. And
Yeah, but it's not like he got any concessions or any additional action out of either Mexico or Canada because all they agreed to do was something that they had already agreed to do.
right.
It'd be like if I'm going to the grocery store and then you say, "Hey, I need you to go to the grocery store because I need a bottle of soda." I'm like, "Yeah, I was already going."
All right. Anything else on the political horizon
Oh, there's so much more, but
for today's episode? Because I can't wait to get into these shower thoughts. I tried to post something in the shower thoughts Reddit page the other day, and apparently I didn't have like the Reddit street creds. I don't know if you're familiar with this, to post to certain
not
groups on
enough
Reddit.
karma.
You have to have karma. I don't even know how you get that. But
You get that by making posts and people upvoting you.
I said, you know what? I am just going
And
to
for
take.
reference,
I'm going to take my shower thought and I'm going to make a podcast out of it. And
yeah,
here we
like
are.
I've got 184 post karma and 16,000 comment karma. So
Well, I don't
my
even know.
post probably wouldn't have been taken down.
Well, that doesn't make me feel very good. I got 5,000. What did you have?
16,000 something comment karma.
You know, I have 2,354. I felt pretty good about that. Well, I guess I'm not that popular.
I've been on Reddit for a very long time.
Yeah, I have not. All right. So let's get into shower thoughts here. I actually think what we should maybe do here is I'm just going to quick number these. How do you feel about that? That might make it,
Don't think it is necessary.
well, help us keep track of where we are here. All right. I'm
You
going
can't remember the last one that we read.
to, I may not be able
Is
to.
it really that difficult for you?
Yeah, I don't have that much brain capacity.
Yeah, I'm wondering whether or not it's possible for you to have a shower thought.
What's a, you know,
You can have a shower, but I don't think you have the material for the
listen,
second part.
I just don't, I don't have the bandwidth these days. I don't have much of a memory. I'm not in good shape in the mental capacity
No,
side of things.
not much has changed.
Yeah. All right. So, number one, fish can't close their eyes. You ever think about that?
No, I think most of them have like a transparent membrane that they can push over their eyes to like protect them, though.
Yeah. Um, I don't even know about that. I don't know. I just think about dead fish in the grocery store. That's kind of what led my mind there. Do you want to alternate on these? Should we take turns?
Um, you you keep on going. All like there's most of
You
these
want
are
to take
ones that
over?
you picked out, and like when we get to one that like I picked out, like I'll kind of jump in.
All right. Who came up with the expression "It's raining cats and dogs"? And how was that ever relevant to the weather?
Well, this just gets into a larger discussion about how idioms come to be.
We did a nice idiom podcast. It's about 100 episodes ago, but I thought that was a good one.
Yeah, but there are tons of idioms that make no sense.
Yeah, but the question is, how do these idioms like come about and then stick around?
I don't
How
know.
does
I
the
guess it
phrase?
would just be like for rating cats and dogs the size of the droplets.
There's a Greek
It's
expression about kata and doxa, which means like contrary. There's another theory that like in the old days when there was a major rain with heavy rain and it would flood, the dead animals would kind of uh, float down the street like dead cats and dogs.
hmm.
I but I don't know. I was trying to look for the first time it was in print. I couldn't find it. Um, Next one up, and this is interesting. A lot of people don't know this, but all colors depicted on screens are composed of only three colors:
RGB.
RGB.
Or well, no, that's not actually true because you also have CMYK.
Well, But that's
That's printing.
CMYK.
Yeah. Cyan, magenta, yellow, and black.
Yeah, but although black you could also have black on a RGB screen. It would just be a lack of color, right?
Well, yeah, it would just be that particular pixel,
Would
that
be off.
tripixel switched off.
Yeah, but your brain basically fills in the blanks with the rest, which is, and obviously you can kind of blend some colors too. But I think that's pretty interesting. All right, I don't like this next one. Air and water. If a tomato is a fruit, is ketchup a smoothie?
No.
First off, I mean, ketchup has a lot more in it than just tomatoes.
Well, yeah, that's the
But so
thing.
do
Is
many
like,
smoothies. So do many
right,
smoothies.
but it's, for one, ketchup is cooked. Like, in order to make ketchup, you have to cook the tomatoes and then strain them out, and then you add vinegar and spices and stuff like that, and then you cook it down some more to get it to the consistency you want. Nobody's cooking a smoothie, so ketchup is not a smoothie because smoothies aren't cooked. And
Uh,
if you want to try a cooked smoothie, get back to me and let me know how it goes.
all right. If you're watching us and you want to share in the comments your shower thoughts,
Although
I'd love to hear them.
the whole is ketchup a smoothie makes me think about like the fun debate that you can have about, is blank a sandwich, right? So is a hamburger a sandwich?
Oh, I'd like that hamburger sandwich. You want your hamburger sandwich with cheese?
Is a hamburger a sandwich?
I would think so.
It
It
is.
it meets the requirements of a sandwich.
Yeah. Is a hot dog a sandwich?
That's tough, but technically it's only one piece of bread, not two. So I would say no. For the same
Uh,
reason a taco would not be a sandwich.
Not taco. I would consider like a taco, like a soft shell taco. That's a sandwich.
No.
Yeah, you've got breading surrounding fillings like that. But you know what's not a sandwich? An open face sandwich.
Fair enough. All right, I got another food one for you. Similar. It might be something you drink a smoothie with. Does a straw have one hole or two holes?
One.
Yeah, I agree with you.
The From a topological perspective, like if you think about it, like the simplest form of a straw is just like a circle. Because if you collapse a straw down, like the
Mhm.
length of the straw doesn't topologically matter, and so it has one hole.
All right, this next one I had to look up. I didn't believe it. Sharks have been around longer than trees. The earliest evidence of sharks dates back 450 million years ago, while the first trees appeared anywhere between 350 million and 420 million years ago, leaving at least a 30 million year gap.
Yeah, if you think about it, like if the land on this planet hadn't really kind of like weathered and such to the point where like plants could really live on exposed Earth, then it makes sense because like we life started in the oceans. So it's natural that life
Mhm.
would evolve more advanced stuff in the oceans first.
First, and some of those evolutions would stick around if they were that great. And the thing about sharks is they have this body made of cartilage. I don't know, and they're just natural born killers.
And they constantly look like they just like showed up to the wrong party.
Your first birthday is actually your second birthday. That's right. Your birthday is the celebration of the anniversary of your birth. So your first birthday is actually your second birthday. This is a cool one. I think a lot of people don't think about this. I think about this from time to time. There are different versions of you in the minds of everyone you know. And that obviously, depending on your personality and character, can vary, to different degrees. But everybody has a
I just
different
feel like
experience.
that's misleadingly worded
You think so?
because there's only one version of you, and then there are different impressions that everybody has. It's like that's just like saying everybody has a different opinion about things.
Well, if each person you met had to write a book about you, each character in that book would be a different version of the same character.
Right.
The version, I mean, version is that's what that means. All right. Now this one I thought was funny. Our jaws can only bite upwards. you can't actually bite down? Think about it. Not.
I'm just thinking about
Well,
no, because
if your
no,
chin was
that's
on a table, if your chin was on the table, then I guess your upper jaw would have to move up and down.
yeah, because I was gonna say like, so our jaws can apply a stronger force when it's pulling the chin up towards the rest of the face, but in order to open your mouth, you need to be able like, yeah, the jaw works in two directions. So I'm not sure I agree with that one.
Well, the top jaw is connected to the rest of your skull. So unless you're, if you're like this,
Yeah.
which would be really funny if that's how humans chewed. All right. Speaking of chewing, you can manually breathe, blink, and swallow just by thinking about it. Otherwise, it's on automatic. Every time you take a breath, you're resetting your breath timer. It dies after 5 minutes.
Well, yeah, I don't know. Like,
I mean, the clock is resetting your final breath there.
all right.
Speaking of death, you want to read it? You want to take over for a little bit here?
Yeah. So every broken clock is telling you when it died.
Do you? Did I ever show you the clock that I restored? I
No.
found this old clock in the dirt in my barn, and I restored it. I sanded it down, revarnished it, took everything apart, and then when I put it back together, I crossed the polarity of the wire and didn't realize that. And then I went to plug it in, and it blew up.
There's a lesson there.
Oh my god, I was not a happy guy. I was not a happy guy. All right, you're up next.
We eat pizza from the inside out.
I mean, if you think about it, unless
Not
you
if you got stuffed crust pizza.
that's exactly what I was gonna say. If you're going for the stuffed crust. All right.
This one I completely disagree with. Like, if a cashier remembers you, you're either terrible or amazing.
Well, I mean,
No, you could also just be a regular, and they say, "Hey, I see you every week."
well, that might make you an amazing customer. But I imagine as a cashier, you must like just kind of the monotony of day in and day out. Like some cashiers don't even look up. Like I make sure to say hi, and a lot of times they don't even like turn.
One of my favorite things. So when I go grocery shopping, a very common question from the cashier is, "Did you find everything all right?"
Okay.
My
A
answer is,
little late for that.
I have no idea. Like, when I get home, I'll figure this out. I'm not coming back.
So, what
So
is the importance of this question? Are you going to be filing a monthly report about?
I think it's just like the
That's a
idea that,
nice way to
yeah,
say.
it's customer service of saying like, hey, we hope that you like had a good time while you were shopping. But for me, that's not the case. Like I don't want to be grocery shopping. Like I wore headphones the entire time I was here for a reason. Did I find everything all right? I have no idea. Like when I get home, I'll realize that I forgot a bunch of shit and then have to wait a week until I go back to the grocery store again. I'm aware that I could go back tomorrow. I just choose not to.
Yeah, no, going to the grocery store too often sucks. All right, next one.
If everyone blinked in sync, nobody would know that other people blinked.
That's pretty good. You ever blinked and thought that the lights flickered?
Mm,
That happens to me every once in a while. I'll be like, wait a second, did the lights or did I just blink? Did you see the lights flicker? All right, I blinked then, right? Like, I wasn't watching you to see if you blinked. All right, next up.
winter is the only season you experience twice a year. Only if you're in the northern hemisphere.
Or in the southern hemisphere. Oh no, you're right. You're right. No, excuse me. Excuse me. No, that your winter would just be in the summertime. My mistake. Wow. All right. Next up.
Someone's mom could be using you as a bad example for their kids. I hope so.
When I read that one, I was like, damn, yeah, fair enough. Fair enough.
Yeah, it makes me think of a despair.com poster. Like it could be that your life's purpose is merely to serve as a warning for others.
All right. At the next one here.
The banana used to be the food that most looked like a phone. Now it's the Pop-Tart. Mm,
Pretty much.
yeah, but I still think like I don't know. Have you ever heard the song "Banana Phone" by Raffi?
No.
You should listen to it. In fact, you should have your son listen to it because then it will be the only thing you will listen to for the next week.
Yeah, that's not happening. I can't listen to another song on repeat ever again.
Yeah,
I would say less like the Pop Tart, more like the Hershey's bar.
yeah, but oh man, that's something. The next time I see you and your kid, I'm putting that song on my cell phone and I'm giving it to him.
Just instantly
Yeah,
disorienting. All right.
yeah, like just make you regret decisions for a while.
All right. Next up. This is up your alley. These turn dark pretty quick.
Uh, Deaf people don't know why farts are funny. No, they do.
Not to the same degree. All right, we got a comment here on Facebook from Alexander. You always see the tip of your nose, but your brain ignores it until you're focusing on it. Mm, true. That's good. That's a good shower thought. Um,
Well, it's also just like how there is a blind spot in each one of your eyes that's just like a little bit off center that you actually can't see anything there. But and so your brain just fills in what it expects would be there. And like 99% of the time it's right, but it can be tricked.
yeah, I think the way the brain works in just kind of with all the sensory things is really pretty incredible, and how it's just kind of filling in the blanks most of the time. That's one of the arguments also about how time seems to speed up the older that you get if you don't continue to make new experiences, is that your brain is just kind of filling in. You don't have to process as much the older you get because it's just filling in the blanks. You heard that theory?
Yeah, it sounds familiar.
Um, all right, next up.
In order to fall asleep, we have to pretend to be asleep? No.
Yes.
No.
Go over there and close your eyes.
I'm not like when I'm trying to fall asleep, I'm not pretending to do shit.
You just usually fall asleep with your eyes open, or you have to close your eyes and pretend you're asleep for a minute.
Pretending pre- Pretending to do something, the word pretend invokes like an active pursuit of doing something that you know you aren't actually doing.
Well, you're not. You're awake.
Yeah, but like you're not pretending to be asleep.
I feel like that might work on children if you explain to them. All right, just pretend to be asleep; it'll happen. Just keep
Well, yeah,
pretending.
because they're easy to trick.
All right, we may have walked past killers, serial killers before, and not have known it, unless, of course,
Yeah, I mean,
you were their target.
no, I guess like I
Especially
had
in
a
New York City. I don't
conversation
know.
with back when I was refereeing, there was an assessor who had served in Vietnam. And like as a casual aside, he talked about like having to kill people while he was in Vietnam. It's like so that person was a killer, but he was a soldier. And like so there's probably lots of people that you have encountered in life that have killed somebody and they just don't talk about it.
Well, I wouldn't think to ask.
Yeah, and they're not likely to bring it up.
All right, next. Nothing is on fire. Fire is on things. I don't know, unless you're cooking something. We didn't. We're not affirming all of these are true, by the way. I just think they're interesting. Um, mosquitoes are like dirty used needles. Yeah.
Uh,
Do they,
yeah, but
do they have
it's
any antiseptic qualities? Or it's just their little needle nose there.
yeah, but also like mosquitoes aren't really good at being able to spread illness. Like if you think about the illnesses that people get from sharing dirty needles, like mosquitoes do not pass those diseases on. They
No,
pass
well,
lots of other ones on.
different diseases. Yeah.
Yeah, but they don't pass on the kind of diseases that are typically associated with like sharing dirty needles. Like they're not going to pass on tetanus and they're not going to pass on AIDS.
All right. let's take a
All right,
step
so
back.
I
You're
like this
a
one,
little funnier.
but
I was
yeah,
laughing just
do
thinking about
not touch would be really scary to read in Braille. But at the same time, it's a great prank.
it. I was just thinking about having a bunch of Braille things printed up to put around my office. But nobody would get it except me because I just don't see the likeliness of a blind person coming into my office and reading in Braille. Um, a candle shop is the nicest smelling burnt down building, burnt down shop.
Yeah,
That's
it
sad.
makes me think of like the alternative motto for Yankee Candle: a safe place to fart in the mall.
Do they usually burn candles at Yankee Candle? I don't think they do, right?
No, but they've just got a massive hoard of candles that are all odoriferous. So they just pollute the air with all these scents or whatever.
Yeah, which is really actually not very good for you. And then
Well,
also
yeah, they're
burning
all
candles.
volatile chemicals.
Well, burning candles are also not good for you as well.
Yeah. And also just being around burning candles gives me mild anxiety.
Really?
Well, because it's an open flame and like, I, yeah, one of my friends likes to burn candles in their house, and like being around that for a while, I'm just like,
I
this is
love
just a
burning
house.
candles.
This is just a house fire waiting to happen.
I light what are they called? The little tea candles all over the place. And I like that.
Well, I
Yeah.
think about the time that your sister almost burned your house down.
She put a candle like alongside the windowsill or something,
She put it on top of the wooden windowsill, and it burned all the way down.
and then set the window on fire. And then I
Yeah.
think it cracked the glass. Yeah, that was not nice. Um, all right.
So it's like,
All right. Also,
and on the rare times that I lose power, like we'll light some candles, and I cannot wait until we can blow them out.
just a reminder: share your shower thoughts in the comments. We'd love to share those. All right. So we're transitioning out of the Ponley shower thoughts into the Reddit shower thoughts. In the near future, being able to pay attention, be bored, and memorize information are going to seem like superpowers.
We're already kind of there.
Yeah, we definitely are. Why don't we trust pasta? We have to have a window on the box that proves there's pasta inside.
I mean, I can answer this, but
Why do you think we have a window on pasta?
because you want to be able to see the shape of the pasta, and like on, yeah, they can print it on the box, but you want to be able to see the actual size too.
In case you don't trust that the picture of the pasta is to scale.
Yeah, because like how many times have you seen a product that has pictures of it, and they're either like way too small or way too big, and even the ones where like it says like actual size on there, that's never the case.
Yeah, I wish they did that with chips, but there'd be nothing you could do. You just see how screwed you're getting because how empty the bags are.
Right.
How
So,
wild is that we just all accept that bags of chips are just like 70% air?
well, there's a reason for
I
that
I
too.
know, but really?
Well, if you wanted, you could get a smaller bag that's not much of air and much more full of crumbs.
All right, here's one I read, and the stairs at the top and the bottom of the staircase get more traffic than the stairs in the middle.
Yeah, I think this actually makes sense because imagine someone like,
Going halfway up, changing their
well,
mind and coming back down.
pretty much. Like no, like imagine you're thinking about going up the stairs, and like you make it one or two stairs up when you realize, oh, I need to actually like grab something first
This
before I
must
go
be
up the stairs.
very, very slight because I don't see people turn around on stairs very often at all.
No, but if you are going to turn around on stairs, it's going to be in the first one or two. You're not going to walk halfway up the stairs. And so it's like the middle
I
part of the
suppose,
staircase is only going to get people that do completed journeys.
unless it's like a staircase, it's like 4, 5, 6 steps, and people skip the first step.
Yeah, I didn't
Hmm,
consider that angle.
yeah. Well, all right. I threw this one on there because I thought it was questionable, but all right.
So I really like this one.
Go ahead.
Whoever created the tradition of not seeing the bride in the wedding dress beforehand, of like the groom not seeing the bride before the wedding, Saved countless husbands hours and hours of dress shopping, and should be considered a hero to all men. And I
That's very
fully
true.
agree.
That is very true. Um, uh, all
Yo,
right.
can you imagine how horrible that would be?
Well, listen, to women who may not know this, or men who don't know this, just maybe because they have never been shopping with a woman. Men and women shop completely differently. And for me, shopping, especially in a clothing store, is complete torture. I hate every minute of it. I hate the changing rooms. I hate trying on. I hate just browsing through the clothes. I don't like it. I want to go in, get what I need, and leave. I don't want to look at stuff. I I don't want to picture how I'm going to look and stuff. I need pants. I need pants. We just go in and get the pants. Um, and also, men's clothes are have a lot less bells and whistles and differences than ladies' clothes do. All right, we're halfway through here. I want to share the answer to last week's bar trivia question, and that was I just want to read it word for word here. And this was not exactly a this is a bit of a contrived question because it didn't actually happen, to give my sister some credit. But my sister and I were gifted $96. So this part of the scenario is true. She had a 50, two 20s, a 5, and one $1 bill. So she gave me the 50, leaving her with $46. I told her that I was paid $4 more than she was, which is I got the 50. She was left with 46. So that's true. She explained that the next time she saw me, she'd just give me $4. And I said, Sister, that's not going to solve anything. Why is that?
Because it should be $2.
Because she just give me $2. Otherwise, she's going to have four more dollars than I do. You know, I thought I was throwing a gimme out there last week, and then I asked some people the question, and it just they didn't get it.
Yeah, no, I thought about it for about 6 seconds. I was like, no, you just $2 instead. That way each person has 48.
All right,
Maybe it's the accountant brain.
Stay tuned for the bar trivia question this week, and don't forget to visit SipTalkPodcast.com where you can buy us a drink and answer the bar trivia question. All right, what do you have next here?
When you're a kid, you don't realize you're also watching your mom and dad grow up.
Yeah, that's very true. I thought about that a while back, and I share it with nieces and nephews and other kids once they kind of become teenagers. I'm like, this is your parents' first time doing this, right? Like it's your parents' first time being a parent. Like they're just imagine you have to make the decisions that they do in the future. Like you're not going to be you're likely to be much more equipped than they are.
Yeah, but the thing is, by the time you're old enough to realize that your parents are like making their first go at it, like
Yeah.
it's you're most likely an adolescent or a teenager.
Well, it's usually for most people, if they're lucky enough to realize this, even later than that.
Yeah,
But I think that if you're an adolescent or a teenager, that's a very good time to be realizing this because you're probably making your parents' lives a living hell.
yeah, but that's what they signed up for, so I have no sympathy for them.
Oh man.
It's like whenever parents complain about anything, I was like, "You chose this, man."
Yeah, I guess. Um, I don't know. I think people are unprepared and they just I don't know. I don't want to get into it. Let's hit
Yeah,
the next one.
we've done entire episodes on this one, so
Let's hit the next one here. Um,
being able to tolerate the sound of your own voice in a video is probably the highest form of self acceptance. Maybe.
I don't think I know anybody who likes listening to their voice uh, after it's been recorded. It's it's just a not nice experience at all. Okay, so this one I really like. If elevators had never been invented, all the CEOs and important people would have their offices on the first floor as a sign of status, and all the lower level employees would be up on the high floors.
I don't think that's like the most important people would be on the first floor, but I also don't think they would be on the top floor
Why not the first?
because you want to have some separation from street level.
Maybe, or maybe you have a nice garden.
I
Maybe
would
things have
I
evolved
would bet
differently.
that let's say you're in a 50-story tall skyscraper, right? And there's no elevators. I would bet. Well, first of all, skyscrapers just wouldn't exist. You wouldn't have 50 floors.
Nobody's going to walk 49 floors.
Right. So first of all, like the whole premise is preposterous, but let's run with it just because. I would bet like the CEOs and stuff would be on like the third or fourth floor.
That's still a ways to walk up. I don't know.
Yeah,
But if
but
people have to walk, I don't, but also if we didn't have elevators, there's also like escalators and other technology.
can you
And
imagine taking an escalator 50 times?
I've done it at Macy's. At Macy's in Midtown Manhattan, they have kind of in the center of the store this escalator kind of bank, I guess, and it runs the whole store. And the higher up you go, of course, those escalators get used less and less, right? Because there's just fewer traffic the higher up you go. And they have the old wooden original escalators to the store, which I think is pretty cool. All right, next
Yeah,
one
you got
up.
to be a special kind of bored if riding an escalator is your entertainment for the
The
day.
thing is, most people go to the elevators in that Macy's, and they just end up jam packed with smelly strangers. And because it's kind of a tourist destination, they're especially smelly strangers.
Oh, dude, I will do anything to avoid being in an elevator.
Well, that's what escalators are for.
Yeah, but I also don't think of the escalator as my entertainment. It's like this is just better than an elevator.
All right, hit the next one here.
Da, da, da,
37.
yeah. This one's stupid.
Yeah.
During a nuclear explosion, there's a certain distance from the center of the explosion where all supermarket frozen supermarket pizzas are cooked to perfection.
First
And
off,
no,
no, because one, they're gonna have melted plastic on them. They're probably gonna be sideways. But then two, if you were anywhere near those supermarket pizzas, you would also be cooked beyond perfection.
yeah,
You would not have a light suntan.
but also like since the heat from a nuclear explosion lasts for quite a while, like like you want to cook a supermarket pizza what like 350, 400,
Hmm.
right? So like it's either to get the right amount of heat into that pizza, it's either going to need to be close enough to the blast where it's going to be that hot, and then it's going to be for either way too long or way too short. And it's not just like you say, well, like if the blast length is too short, just put the pizza closer, because it's not like imagine you've got a pizza that needs to be cooked for 10 minutes at 400. You can't turn the oven to 800 and say I'm going to cook it for 5 and expect the same results, right?
Yeah, but I thought it was clever. I thought it was clever. My feedback was just you don't want to be anywhere near those pizzas. Um, all right, how about this one? And I have mixed feelings on this, but I kind of generally agree. You ever go back to you look in the refrigerator, you don't get anything. You go back to the refrigerator, you're like, you don't get anything. So,
Yo, that's the story of my life, like 3 or 4 days out of the week.
so this one is that we don't check the refrigerator multiple times to find new food, see if something just materialized in the refrigerator. We check to see if our standards have dropped enough to eat what's available.
Well, it's either that or like what like we give ourselves time to think about like potential combinations of the food that we do have.
I guess. I guess. All right, you want to hit the next one here?
Uh, yeah, somebody at Google's like, yeah, let's just have someone drive down every road on Earth, which they haven't done yet. There's lots of countries that have no coverage whatsoever. But if you think about how many millions of miles Google Earth drivers have done, it's insane.
That's true. We got a shower thought from Sasha, which I haven't pre-read, but I'll just read it out loud. Men will touch their junk with dirty hands while using the bathroom and wash their hands afterwards. Now you have a dirty dick with clean hands, which is so backwards to me.
Well, yeah, but the premise is also that like the junk is always dirty, so it doesn't matter if it gets dirtier. And
I mean, it's a valid point.
yeah, but like
Valid point.
like you're not. Also, you're not washing your junk in a public restroom, and if you are, then
Can I just hover my balls over the sink?
yeah, like could you imagine seeing that you go into a public restroom?
I would not be surprised in New York
No,
City.
in New York City, I guess you
Well,
could
I
you could
probably
have.
have seen it in New York City. Who the hell knows? You see some weird shit going on in public bathrooms.
Yeah, but if I see that in a public bathroom, I'm turning around and walking out.
All right. Oh, number 40 was the same one from before. Okay, so we both agreed on the wedding
Yeah,
dress.
we might have crossed paths a couple
Yeah.
times here.
Well, that was a top Reddit one. That was a top Reddit one.
Yeah.
Uh,
I like this next one though.
yeah.
The sentence "Don't objectify women" has women as the direct object of the sentence.
True. Um,
You remember having to diagram sentences?
yeah. Yeah. I kind of mostly came pretty easy for me.
I hated it.
Really?
Yeah, with a passion.
Uh, I liked it. I'd
Uh,
like to.
Some of it might have to do with the teacher that we had at the time.
Well, that could have a lot to do with it. All right, let's see. Uh,
Oh, yeah, it kind of makes sense that the target audience for fidget spinners lost interest in them so quickly.
I think about that every once in a while. How I don't see fidget spinners anymore. Which I'm not really into that stuff like stress balls or something like that, or like clicky things. I just found them annoying. It's like the people who chew on pens. I'm not one of them. But the people that chew on pens would be your fidget spinner audience with no attention span.
There's a business idea.
What's that?
Flavored pens.
Oh God. People just be swallowing plastic. That's disgusting.
Yeah, we already are.
Somebody in my office chews pens, and I happen upon these pens, here and there. It makes me so mad. Like, what are you, 7?
What you need to do is go to a pet store and get some of like those like bitter sprays that you can spray on things to get pets to stop chewing on things.
Yeah, I don't know that would work, and that's also gross.
Yeah, but it's funny.
Okay, this is a good one. This is one you found, but I'm going to read it. People who jog on roads in the dark, wearing dark clothing, and no lights or reflectors are a unique combination of a person who cares about their health and well-being and doesn't care about their health and well-being.
So that is 100% me. Because like I'll run in the middle of the night and I usually wear dark clothing.
Yeah, that's really bad. I would prefer just to wear it. Like most of my workout clothes are darker workout clothes, but I wear the lighter clothes so that people can see. I wear the athletic and the lighter clothes, sometimes with like reflectors, not real reflectors, but like
like the reflective strips on them.
yeah, not the obnoxious ones, which I think are silly. When you see somebody out running and they have like an orange vest on,
Yeah.
but I do it so that I don't get shot. Because I'm always worried that like somebody's gonna see me running through the neighborhood at 10, 11 o'clock at night and be like, oh, it's an easy target. I should shoot him and get away with it.
I don't know. I was going for a run one night, and it was like 9:30, 10 o'clock, and I was on the phone with my girlfriend at the time. She was like, "I worry anytime that you go for these late runs at night," and I was like, "Why? I'm like, there's nobody in my neighborhood, and I'm not." She's like, "Yeah, but like, it's dark, and like, you could just get hit." And I said, "Don't worry, I'll be wearing very dark clothing."
Yeah, no, you're more likely to get hit wearing dark clothing. And anybody who's driven and almost hit somebody, and then because they couldn't see them and they were wearing dark clothing, was like, what an asshole.
Yeah, I'm aware of this. I can also see the cars coming, and I can get to the side of the road. I'm not worried about it.
Depends on your path. Depends on the route that you're taking.
It's if you ever come and visit me here, you'll see what I'm talking about and be like, yeah, there's nothing.
I mean, mine is all sidewalks, but I have some other routes that are not sidewalks. I would not run those at night. Condoms are made by automated. Wait, what?
Sound it out.
Oh, okay. Sorry, I read a different one about condoms. I thought this was that. Condoms are made, and I thought this was your rebuttal to that one. Condoms are made by automated assembly lines, meaning robots are literally helping to prevent human reproduction.
Yeah, I'm on the side of the robots here, man.
Um, All right, I'll read the next. I'll let you read the last two here.
Okay. The fact that we can't fully control our own organs and bodily functions is like we don't have admin privileges over our own bodies. And you know what? Based on the number on many conversations I've had with many different people, it's really good that we don't have full control over our own bodies, because I think a lot of the people that I have talked to would not be here today if they had to have full control. Like,
I I just started this book about it's called Nudge, and basically how, like, should we be kind of guiding people to make the best decisions? And some people out there are like, no, people make the best decisions on their own.
well,
And
that's just
exactly,
demonstrably incorrect.
exactly. But yeah,
But yeah, like I've encountered too many stupid people to think that it's a bad idea that most of the body is is autonomic.
um,
All right, so the last one. There are sidewalks in the movie Cars, but it's all cars. Who's on
uh,
the sidewalk?
but so are there cars on the sidewalks? I've never
No,
seen a car. Have you seen the
no,
Cars movies?
yes.
Mm.
It's all cars, and they drive on the roads, but there are sidewalks on the roads that nobody drives on.
Though that leads me to an interesting thought. So, if AI takes over and there's a robotic uprising because they'll just need more mobile uh, computers and devices. Do you think there's some humanistic elements that will exist in that world for no reason at all, except that we've just always had them? I don't mean like they'll continue to exist, like our roads will continue to be on the roads, but do you think that they will go and build kind of humanistic things just because they think that's what they're supposed to do?
Maybe.
I don't know.
It's impossible to say because it all depends on like how it happens and what kind of program is the one that's actually able to like do things, because the chances of it happening are extremely low, because you can just look at how incompetent robots are at anything besides their extremely narrow tasks that they're designed for.
Yeah, very true. Although robots are getting better.
They are, but it's just like we talked about last week with generative AI, where it can be pretty good at one thing, but as soon as it has to step outside of its narrow arena, it all of a sudden sucks hard. And to like have machine learning where it can control motion of some kind of robotic machine, and to be able to get a machine to learn how to do that is so far off.
All right. You saw my chat here before
Yeah,
we get this bar trivia. That's
yeah,
good.
yeah.
Good to
Let's hit
go.
it.
All right. So we got a bar trivia question. I This week is another give me. And the reason I gave you a gimme is to encourage you to go to siptalkpodcast.com, click on bar trivia, and answer the damn question. Every week we get a couple of answers actually. Uh, Most of them are usually right. We should probably start shouting them out. But I'm going to encourage you this week to answer this question on siptalkpodcast.com. And if we feel like it, we will send you some Sip Talk merch. All right. Episode 254. Mr. and Mrs. Plum have 6 daughters. Each daughter has one brother. How many people are in the Plum family? Mr. and Mrs. Plum have 6 daughters. Each daughter has one brother. How many people are in the Plum family? All right. On that note,
I know what the answer is, but it's technically undefined.
all right. So
No, I'm wrong. It's just a very easy answer.
I was going to talk to you off air about
Never mind. No, it's a very easy
it.
answer.
All right. On that note, thank you for joining us for this episode of Sip Talk. We look forward to you seeing us next time. And adios. All right, you made it this far. Don't forget to visit siptalkpodcast.com, subscribe, and we'll see you next time.
Go ahead.
It's a lady at 46 South Road. 46 South Road.
Station 1 call, 3 Tonet, please. 10-4. Captain 4 will be going to that location also. This is 19, is that correct?
Sorry, one last four?
Right, the 185, 24 miles, and I'll return there. There's a cop 185, 24 mile, station 1. There's a station 1 cop, 85, 24 mile, station 1.